Well, howdy there, Internet people, it's Belle again. So today, we're going to talk about Trump versus hundreds of economists and the Fed. Trump's move to oust Federal Reserve Board Governor Lisa Cook is creating waves all over the country. First, her lawyer is attempting to get a block on the firing, and in a filing said Cook, quote, did not ever commit mortgage fraud. What may be more important is that he's saying that federal entities had her mortgage details prior to her confirmation. The filing noted, quote, the government has long known about the alleged facial inconsistencies in Governor Cook's financial documents. It's going to be very hard to fire somebody for cause if the information was known before they were ever confirmed. The attorney did a good job of presenting Trump's allegations as a pretext to remove her for not succumbing to his political pressure. Then, hundreds of economists from prestigious institutions, including multiple Nobel laureates, Federal Reserve economists, and so on, signed an open letter backing up Cook. Quote, we write as economists to express our strong support for Federal Reserve Board Governor Lisa Cook and for the long-standing principles of central bank independence. Good economic policy requires credible monetary institutions. Credible monetary institutions, in turn, require the independence of the Federal Reserve. A large body of research confirms that countries with more independent central banks achieve better economic outcomes. Congress, through the Federal Reserve Act, enshrined that independence and designed the Federal Reserve to be insulated from day-to-day politics. By law, governors serve fixed terms and may be removed only for cause. A high bar meant to protect the institution's independence. That protection is not merely a legal formality. It is a practical mechanism designed to ensure that monetary policy cannot be misused for political gain at the expense of what's best for the economy. Governor Cook is a Senate-confirmed economist who has served on the board since 2022 and was reconfirmed in 2023 to a term ending in 2038. Throughout her tenure, she has engaged publicly and professionally on issues central to the Fed's mandate, including financial stability and inflation dynamics. The letter then goes on to list 3 important bits to be noted. One is that allegations should be proven. Another is that elected officials should not use rhetoric that erodes the Fed's independence. And then there's this bit. Quote, no governor should be removed absent a clear documented for-cause basis that would withstand judicial scrutiny. Weakening that standard increases monetary policy uncertainty and forces markets to price political risk into interest rates, raising those rates and costs for families and businesses. And there it is. Trump's failure to understand how this works is now risking additional costs and higher rates, the exact opposite of what he wants to achieve. Another Chesterton fence moment. This is why the fence of Fed independence was put up. If this made it into the open letter, that means economists are already considering pricing in additional risks. It's already happening. Even a handful of Republicans are starting to publicly break with Trump on this. Senator Mike Rounds of South Dakota said, quote, but I think the independence of the Federal Reserve is absolutely critical. It's critical to the president's long-term economic success because he needs that board to be seen as independent if we want to keep our U.S. treasuries in demand around the world. Yep. They're starting to really worry about the bond market, as they should. I know a lot of this was almost review. We've covered this in theory before, but now it's being publicly said by Republican senators, Nobel laureates, Fed economists, professors, and so on. Trump's move against the Fed is risking the U.S. economy. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.